Hi, I'm Mark Moses. I'm welcoming you to the CAC Network's High School Football Game of the Week. You might recognize me as an actor. I've been in a few television shows, well, more than a few: Desperate Housewives, Mad Men, The Last Ship, Homeland. I've done some films like Platoon, Big Mama's House 2, Gettysburg, Bombshell. But I used to be a football player. I used to play for Evanston Township High School. This is a picture of me when I had more hair, when I was younger, when I was cuter. And I also played with the amazing Don Johnson, who is bringing you tonight's game on the CAC Network. Don asked me to talk briefly about what it was like being a football player or an athlete back in the day, and how it applied to me as an actor. Well, I have to say I learned many, many great lessons, mostly from a coach named Murney Lazier, who was our high school football coach. He taught me about teamwork. He taught me about hard work, discipline, getting what you want, being a good person overall, and pursuing what you want in life. And those things apply not only to acting, but to every career that happens. And so the football experience was great for me. And I think this is going to be a wonderful fall season for CAC Network. And Don Johnson, you're going to do a great job. So all I got to say is go Wildcats and take it over, Don. Cheers.
Hey, I'm Don Johnson from My Generation Sports. Are you ready for some of the finest football in the state of Illinois? I thought that you were. Join us on the CAC Network.
We start with our coaching staff, our defensive coaching staff, Coach Bergia. They really do a great job with those kids. Our top returning starter this year is Ethan Agakon. He's been a 3-year starter for us. He'll play offensive line and defensive line. He had a pretty dominant season last year. Great player, great kid, real team leader for us, locker room guy. Another guy we're going to be counting on defense is Armand Burris, playing a little bit of cornerback. And so he's another one of our top returners. So we're really, really focused on those two kids and building around them. And Coach Bergia and the staff are doing a great job.
Every team around this time, Coach, is plotting the course for the state championship at the IHSA championship finals in Normal, Illinois. So you're all looking towards that, and you're all trying to motivate your team to be prepared to reach that level. What do you have to do to get your team to identify with that goal for the end of the season?
Yeah, I think every coach in the state of Illinois at this point, is trying to get the most out of their players, help their team reach its full potential. So some of the things we always talk about in our program are we're a team-first program. So, we make sure that our kids are selfless, and they're putting the team first no matter what. I've learned a lot about this team through the summer and through our first couple weeks of camp. They're a high-energy, fun group. It's really enjoyable to come to practice every day. They've got high goals and, having a lot of fun. We're trying to help them reach those goals and get them where they want to be.
Coach, you had 7 single-digit games that you held offenses down to last season. Your defense was the #1 in the North Suburban Conference. How do you build on that success this season?
Sure. Yeah, I think just our kids definitely understand it's a dogfight every week. You've got to earn everything you get. Nobody's going to give it to you. No easy games in North Suburban. So our kids are aware of that. They're challenged. They understand what we're trying to accomplish. And so just trying to make sure that we put our best product on the field every week. Defensively, they push that Wolfpack mentality. That's their mantra over there. They're trying to swarm to the ball, play as 11, and play great defense. That's part of what we've done at Stevenson here for a long time. Well, I think expectations are actually a positive.
Yes.
We talk to our kids about that all the time. You want to be stressed. You want to be under pressure, and you have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. So what a great life lesson for these kids to try and live up to those expectations, understand the program that's come before them, and being part of that history and leaving a legacy for years to come.
Coach, when a homegrown talent like Aiden O'Connell gets drafted in the NFL in the 4th round by the Las Vegas Raiders, what does that do for the culture of Stevenson High School when a homegrown player gets selected in the NFL?
We're so proud of Aiden. He's just one of the most incredible human beings that you'll ever meet. And we're so proud of him. We've had a lot of kids go on and play at the next level at different places, right? But anytime you can continue playing football at the next level, like you become more and more elite, so to speak. So few people get an opportunity to do it. And so for our kids to see kids go on and play in college and then go on and get drafted and have success, that's motivating to our younger kids, and they can see that. And we've had a lot of kids that, weren't necessarily starters early in their career. Aiden didn't start at quarterback until he was a senior, sat behind another great player, Jack Sorensen. And so Aiden learned from that, goes on to Purdue, goes through a similar situation where I think at one point he was 7 or 8 on the depth chart. And so we talked to our kids about taking advantage of opportunities. And Aiden's a prime example in that way. He's certainly done that and excelled, and we're really excited to see him play. We're proud of him. Aiden's always been incredibly accurate. I think even this past weekend, playing at the highest level, playing for the Raiders, I think he was 15 for 18, and just that's who he is. He's so smart in terms of being a football player, incredibly accurate, so he's a great player. At some point in my career, I've coached, pretty much every position group. I've been a coordinator on either side, and, so it gives me the flexibility as a head coach to go wherever we're needed, right? And so I try to hire the best coaches I can. We've got an incredible staff, and that really allows me the flexibility to coach where I'm needed. I'm helping out with the offensive line this year and helping out with the weak side outside linebackers, so it's a lot of fun. It gives me a lot of flexibility. I'm grateful to our coaches. So,
Coach, your season begins with 2 non-conference games. The first game is with Kenosha Bradford Red Devils from across the state line in Wisconsin. And then your second game is with Chicago Taft from the Chicago Public League Red. How do these 2 games sort of set the tone for the rest of the season?
Yeah. I think with the North Suburban being as strong as it is, your non-conference games are always really important. And we've played a lot of different teams. We've played teams from Wisconsin, teams from Michigan. We've played teams down on the south side of Chicago. We've played everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so we really rotate our teams every couple of years, sign new contracts. And, it's important for us to start fast, and be as good as we can be early, because we know once we do get into conference play, it's going to be a tough road. And so with the team that we have this year, we're looking to really start fast, make sure that we're playing at a high level, energy's high, kids are competing, so we're excited. It'll be fun.
Hello, this is Terry Harrell with CAC Network. I'm here with Coach Asmani of Kenosha Bradford. Coach, what did you see in your first game last week that you'd like to improve upon?
We had a few mistakes, a few fumbles. That our goal is to not fumble the ball, turn the ball over. So we're going to clean that up this week. But all in all, the kids played. They executed our game plan perfectly and came up with a big win on Friday.
Coach, I know you have a fairly young team, but a lot of them played last year. And that experience last year and the confidence from that big victory last week should help you a lot. How are the kids reacting to that?
Yeah, they're excited. It was a big win for us last week. Like you said, last year we started 8 to 10 freshmen, and they're all sophomores now. So they grew up a little bit. They got a year in the weight room, a year in our program, and they came ready to go on Friday. So they're excited. They're ready to compete, and they're ready to see what Illinois has got for football here. So
I'm telling you, we're really glad that you're able to cross the border and have this game tonight. Hopefully, Stevenson will give us a big game atmosphere.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of told the kids. Be ready for that big game atmosphere. We watched some of their games on YouTube that we were able to get. So and it was cool college type atmosphere out here. So we're excited. Our kids are excited. Everybody's really excited for the situation.
Okay, do you have any kids that you'd like to mention that you expect to play big tonight?
Yeah, our senior quarterback, Devin Wheaton, came through big last week for us, threw for 3, ran for 1. He's going to be a key to our success. Senior Nolan Shiplett, receiver as well, on offensive side. Defensively, Sebastian DeRose will lead our defense with Ethan McLean, and we got a bunch of young guys that are ready to go, and I can name them all, but those would be the key ones that I think are going to be our standout guys tonight.
Fantastic, Coach. Thank you very much for having a word with us, and good luck this evening.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Welcome to Lincolnshire, where we're about to see an I-94 matchup where Kenosha Bradford comes down over the state line to face the Stevenson Patriots. I'm Eric Schmidt, joined by former Northwestern lineman Terry Harrell, and welcome to the first broadcast of the CAC Network. Tonight's Stevenson's first game, but Bradford has a game under its belt already. Terry, you were a lineman at Northwestern, but you played your high school ball at Beloit in the same Southeast Conference that this Bradford team is in. What do you know about this Kenosha team?
Well, I know that Kenosha has been a very proud football program over the years, but they had a tough year last year. They were really young, but those young kids have grown up. And last week they came out and won 35-0 against Wilmot. It's their time to shine.
Now, in honor of your work in the trenches, we're going to highlight a couple of seniors who are doing the dirty work for both of their teams. For Stevenson, Ethan Aga Khan, he is an impact player on both sides of the ball.
Well, Mr. Aga Khan had a dream year last year. He had 55 tackles, 10.5 sacks, and he had an interception. Trust me, as a lineman, an interception is a dream.
Now, for the Red Devils, Ethan McLean, he plays a very similar role for their team.
Well, Ethan McLean is a two-way starter for 3 years. And if you have any designs of playing in college, you want to be that two-way starter. You want to give those coaches something to look at on both sides of the ball. And he's doing that, and he's going to shine today.
Well, it's unusual to highlight a couple of trench guys, but we love doing it today. Stevenson's first game of the season, Bradford will be playing its second. And again, Stevenson's first chance for their fans to see their players. Stay with us. Opening kick is on the way.
Stevenson High School will be kicking off. Kicking in. Will kick off. Back to receive the kickoff for Bradford, number 14, Lawrence Pratt. And number 4, Naren Ham.
Oh, yeah, no, I got it. You got it? Yeah, I'm writing on my...
Naren Ham, the ball carrier. Yard touchdown round for Naren Ham. Mason Runyard will attempt the extra point. Free tag to hold. Kick is good. 11:42 left in the first period. Your score: Kenosha Bradford 7, Stevenson 0.
You gotta hold the button down. There's only one. Oh, there are two here.
Back lead to receive the kickoff
Yes.
for Stevenson, number 1, Zach Hirsch. And number 10.
Well, you saw a opening kickoff return, Terry. That's the way to start a season. Nathan Happ with a
Well, I tell
kick
you,
return.
I tell you, if you're Kenosha, you got to be extremely happy. You come into this atmosphere with at least 1,500 people in it, making a lot of noise, a huge band, and you open the game with a kickoff return for a touchdown. as the first time crossing the border, you got to be happy.
Well, definitely a statement that they were hoping to make today coming in, as we are going to see Bradford with the kickoff. As Mason Runyard putting it into the end zone, and we are going to see Stevenson's offense for the first time this season now.
Well, from what Coach says, Stevenson's going to open in the spread, and they're going to be willing to throw the ball.
Stevens' quarterback, Ethan Crawley, will be the starter today. He won the quarterback competition in the spring or in the summer leading up into the season. He has got two backs behind him, Alex Drabchek and Frank Costabile.
That was a wide receiver screen. They tossed it out into the flat, and the receiver just gets what he can. He did a good job with that. Approximately a 9-yard carry.
Reception to Burris. He is a two-way starter as well for this team. He is a basketball player as well. It's going to be 2nd and 2 for the Patriots. Snap almost goes over. Crawley said he does a nice job of corralling it, but all he can do is fall on it over there. That's going to be a loss of a couple for the Patriots. That's going to leave us with 3rd down now.
Hopefully the Patriots can get that snap together. They have a problem with that the first 2 plays. But you got to remember, it's still their first game of the year.
Well, and a lot of new players as well for this team. There's only one returning starter, period, for Stevenson right now. So a lot of jitters to get through. Their first game, Bradford, again, already has one under its belt. We are at 3rd down. Crowley in the shotgun, and he is going to step back. Crowley takes it himself. He is brought down. And it looks like they give him the first down.
That wasn't necessarily a planned run, but it looked like Crowley just, saw opportunity, took off, made the first down. Good decision.
That's Simmons in motion. The handoff goes to Costabile. And he is trying to get around the side. He does. He gets forced out of bounds around the 30. Going to bring us a 2nd down.
One thing that we just saw was a few players missing a tackle. And if you think about it, it's been extremely hot this week. And so I know both these teams had issues trying to get in full practices. That usually takes away a lot of that tackling practice, and it usually takes away the hitting.
Stevenson has so many different different teams here at different levels that the coaching staff said they just had trouble finding fields for all of these teams in this 90-degree heat. As we see Crawley back in the again that's Costabile. Looks like he is going to get the first down. They're going to give it to him.
It looks like Stevenson solved that problem with the snaps, and their offense is beginning to take off.
Receivers for Stevenson, Armand Burris, Thomas Simmons, and Zachary Becker is the tight end. We might see him a little bit today. Burris hands off. That is to number 23, Christopher Thorndike. That's going to be 2nd down and a short 2. Right at the 50-yard line, Terry.
Well, Stevenson's moved the ball well. And it looks like the running game is really working for him. I expect him to do that quite a bit this first quarter.
Yeah, especially with a young quarterback, a sophomore. Probably get his sea legs, especially this first possession. Step back. That's a short pass. complete to number 2, Armand Burris. That's his second reception of the day. But that's going to be enough for a first down.
Correction is complete. With that play of the Stevenson Patriot.
We talked about the inability to get some practices outside Bradford, a little bit of the same, and they had an even bigger issue. Their gym is under construction, so they weren't even able to practice inside in the gym. Made it a little bit more tough this week. They got very creative. So we see Crawley back again. That's a hand. Uh-oh, the ball is down.
It looks like Stevenson may have recovered.
Bradford thinks they have it, and they do.
No, it is Bradford ball.
Fumble recovered by number 20, Watkins.
I'm telling you, for Bradford, you can't hope for a much better start than this.
No, and you mentioned before, a little bend, not break for this defense, and that was a good example. They gave up some yards. Things looked a little easy on the ground, especially, and that's key. Turnovers, right? Win the turnover battle.
Win that turnover battle.
Devin Wheaton in the quarterback for Bradford.
So our first chance to see Bradford's offense here as we see Wheaton. He hands off to Ethan Childers. He is a sophomore running back, and he is brought down in the backfield.
Well, Ethan Childers had a pretty good week last week, and this week he looks to be one of the main ball carriers for them.
Well, the whole backfield is Childers. Marcus Childers was the one that played last week. Ethan is his younger brother, and he did not play last week. This is his first action again. He's a sophomore, 5'7", 175. Coach Gaz says that most of their running backs are very similar in height, stature. They're strong inside runners. So we see Wheaton step back. That pass is complete to number 10, Nolan Shiplett. See where they're going to mark it.
Looks like going to be at like the 48.
On the tackle for Stevenson.
It's going to leave us third down and a short 3.
It'll be 3rd and 3 for Bradford.
So Wheaton's the quarterback. We mentioned Ethan and Marcus Childers, receivers, Nolan Shiplett, Tony Jones-Fisher, and Lawrence Pratt in this spread offense for the Red Devils. You see 2 receivers at the top of your screen.
Designed run.
And Wheaton kept it there. Last week, he had 12 rushes, 73 yards, and a score. He is a dual threat guy, Terry.
Yeah, it's very handy to have a dual threat quarterback when you're running the spread. It gives you an opportunity to have a running game when you have no backs in the backfield. I'm really impressed with the size of Kenosha Bradford's receivers.
Well, let's talk 6'4", 6'3", 6 foot, 6'1" quarterback. Those guys are able to see over a lot of things in this field as we see Wheaton step back. Pass intended for Shiplett.
Pass intended for Nolan Shiplett, incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Brings up a second down. We see the officials talking on the bottom. I didn't see a flag. No.
I do believe that I would expect them to go to the air because of their advantage with size. But they did show that they're very multiple in terms of offense last week.
As Marcus Childers in motion and a flip to him.
Good option.
Ball was on the ground.
Marcus Childers, the ball carrier.
Childers recovered his fumble.
Anytime you see those small mistakes tonight, a lot of that has to do with those practices being broken up this week. Because that's when you get your timing and you're prepared to make those kind of decisions. They seemed a little tight in terms of their relationship between the quarterback and the running back before he made the pitch. And that could have been what caused the problem.
So Bradford facing a third down, 3rd and about 13. We have 4 receivers out here right now. 1 back in the backfield with Wheaton. 3 at the top of your screen. Wheaton step back. That pass looks to be completed to Shiplett. Short of the first down, though. So that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, it looks like they're trying to make a decision if they're going to go for it or not. And
well, hey, you're over midfield. You're on the road. You've got a lead. And we did not get a chance to talk about the special teams for these teams, so sometimes that also can be an issue, and especially without any practices if they weren't able to get outdoors this week.
I do believe they have confidence in their passing down. And this looks to be a passing down. They might just long snap. I mean, they might just long count. No,
Nope.
they actually run it.
You were right. Stevens back, but he's getting some pressure. Oh, and a man open downfield. Surin with some pressure.
No catch.
Oh,
dropped it as he felt
incomplete.
It was a good decision, though. It was open. They had opportunity.
Jones Fisher was open. You're right. So that's going to bring back out the Stevenson offense. We talked about the skill players. Let's talk a little bit about the guys in the trenches. Albert Murillo is a left tackle. Ethan Aga Khan, as we talked about in the open, left guard. Your center, Michael Panich. Benjamin Owens, right guard. Andrew Timmons is your right tackle. Crawley hands off. Up the middle. That was the Costabile.
They seem to be doing a really good job of moving the line of scrimmage. They have an aggressive line and what seems to be a very quick line.
He's going to leave a 2nd and 4. Let's talk about the Red Devils defense on the line. Wyatt Rosh, Owen Elder, Ethan McLean, who we talked about. Your linebackers, Sebastian DeRose, Javion Williams, Caden Lyons, and Danny Miner. We'll get back to the D-backs in just a second. So inside hand to Costabile again, and he is broke through, brought down by Colin Freitag. Could have been a much bigger gain, Terry.
You know, the Red Devils seem to be playing a 3-man front on a regular basis, which gives a team an opportunity to run the ball. Typically when you play a 3-man front, you will blitz one of the linebackers, but if you're guessing or if you're going off a scouting report, which is the first game of the year, sometimes you would just miss the run fit and the back will get yards.
It's another hand to Christopher Thorndike this time. That's another first down for Stevenson. Just what we saw in the first possession. A lot of moving the ball on the ground for this team, right up the middle.
I mean, you got to expect Kenosha to come with some type of a run blitz and take that away.
The rest of the defense for the Red Devils, Colin Freitag, we called his name. Naren Hamp, who had the kickoff return to start. Carmelo Brooks and McKee Watkins. So another first down for the Patriots, number 22. Again, that's Thorndike trying to make the turn on the far side of the field, battling down inside the 5-yard line. That's going to be 1st and goal for the Patriots.
Well, it does seem that the Patriots have been able to move the ball very well on the ground.
Brooks with the touchdown saving tackle. Brooks' first season playing football, if you can believe that one. He's a 5'10" senior for the Red Devils. Well, another inside handoff. Let's see. Did they get enough? Thorndike brought down a little short.
Brought down by Javion Williams.
I believe it's 2nd down and goal to go on the 4.
2nd and goal for the Bradford 4.
Crawley bringing the play in as the clock winds down in this first quarter. Not a lot of wind out here today, so I don't think a big advantage either way for offenses today. Still warm.
It's great if you're a passing team to not have rain.
Well, Thorndike again trying to get around. He is trying to get around. Oh, and
tough run.
Knocks over a couple of defenders. Sebastian DeRose gets run over on the goal line.
Tough run.
Thorndike with a hard-earned score for the Patriots.
I'm telling you, back in the old days, they called that a man's touchdown. I mean, he brought the lumber on him.
Caden is your kicker. Veer Patel is your holder. They're going to come out and try to tie this game up. And they do. We are tied at 7. Winding down the first quarter here. Well, didn't have to put the ball in the air that drive at all, Terry.
No, I mean, I think they found something they believe works for them. And so then the question is, what do the Red Devils do in order to stop that run, or at least make them pass? They're sending the blitz, but basically it's more of an outside blitz, which is usually a passing blitz. They're going to have to make some adjustments and try to take away the middle.
Well, we're seeing a lot of dives right through the middle, so exactly. What else can the defensive linemen do, or is that a situation where you're going to start to try to bring linebackers up to plug that a little bit?
Well, one is you can bring the linebackers up, so they're able to play the run, bring more people into the box. The other thing you can do is you can slide the line down, bring a linebacker up on the line and play a 4-man front, which they've shown, and they did show last week against Wilmot. And so we know they have that in the package. But at this point, I don't know. It may just be that coach felt like his players weren't doing what he wanted them to do, and he believes in the scheme and he wants to stay with this one. So we'll see going forward.
Well, our two deep backs, Lorenz Pratt and Naren Hamp, who his last time brought it back to the house. Let's see if they stay away from him this time. Caden On is your kicker.
Good squib kick.
Well, they're going to try Hamp again. Let's find out. Oh, Hamp is in the end zone.
Or you can kick it in the end zone.
Yeah, that's one way to keep it from coming back to the house. Kick it through the end zone. Perfect.
In high school, when they kick in the end zone, typically they'll stop the ball there. The reason for that is because they had issues with concussions, and a lot of people pointed to the kickoff. And so they changed those rules in high school. It looks like they're going to change the rule in the NFL as well. You can fair catch a kickoff.
Yeah, and then it still comes out in the NFL. That's one of the rule changes this season. So, yeah, all about safety. And if it's happening at the pro level to be a little safe, cautious, they're going to be doing it at this level as well, as we see Wheaton in the backfield. And, whole lot of nothing there.
A lot of penetration.
Brought down behind the line of scrimmage by D'Angelo Washington.
So that's going to be a loss of 1. D'Angelo Washington with the tackle.
Second and 11. From the Bradford 19.
And that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. When we come back, it will still be Bradford's ball, 2nd and 11. We are tied at 7. Stevenson and Kenosha Bradford. We'll be right back for second quarter action.
Every goal, every touchdown, a promise, and that promise deserves safeguarding. Introducing draft protection and loss of value insurance. Dream without limits. We've got the coverage. Opalentia. Plan your legacy. Call us now at 708-505-9719.
It's the start of the second quarter, and we did not get a chance to talk about the linemen for the Red Devils. Ethan McLean, Ryan Riley, Christian Arias, Selma, Silas Washington, and Montrell Seals are your hogs for the Red Devils of Bradford, as we have 2nd and 11. And Wheaton is going to keep it himself and met with a host of Patriots at the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring us to 3rd down. Patriots line anchored again by Ethan Agakhan, Richard Georgiev, Anthony Adams, Griffin Surin.
It seems like the Patriots are getting good penetration with that 3-man front.
Well, good pass rush there, but Shiplett broke through past the secondary and was wide open. He had to wait for that ball a little bit, but that shows you how much he got past everybody.
I mean, that really shows how much everything works together. The Patriots had a great pass rush, but Shiplett was so wide open, it gave him the opportunity to just throw it and let him run under. And so typically they play a too deep coverage, and it seemed like it was too deep, but I do think that he ran like what would be called a skinny post.
Mason Runyon, who's your kicker. Colin Freitag is the holder. The snap and the kick is good. So 11:15 in the first quarter. It is 14 Kenosha Bradford. The home Patriots 7 right now. Was that a situation where they just brought too many guys? Or not too many, but they brought a lot of guys.
They brought a lot of guys.
They take the gamble there, and you've got a senior quarterback with a strong arm in Wheaton.
I agree with that. I think one thing that you mentioned earlier about them being very young this year, you know, virtually everyone on that defense is a new starter. And what they ran was a skinny post with the slot receiver. And when you run a skinny post with the slot receiver, really you either have to dedicate the safety on that side to that receiver, or you have to bump that receiver when he leaves the line. And at this point, they don't seem like they're bumping receivers. And so they're going to have to dedicate that safety to that receiver. This is something that Shiplett did last week. You know, he went deep last week.
So Thomas Simmons is deep. Looks like Zachary Hirsch on the far side. Runyard is back. Ball fielded in the end zone, so that is going to be a touchback. Stevenson's going to bring it out to the 20. First down for the Patriots. Let's see if they're able to continue to have the success with the ball movement that they've had in that first quarter.
Well, the upside at this point for the Patriots, it looked like they could continue running the ball. We'll see what happens on this drive, but if they're able to continue to run the ball, they'll keep pace with Stevenson on this drive. Excuse me, with the Red Devils on this drive.
Well, Costabile right up the middle again. There we go, right back to what the bread and butter has been so far until you can prove you can stop it.
Gain is 6, it'll be 2nd and 4 for Stevenson.
We got to remember, this is Stevenson's first game. And in your first game, you don't know what's going to work on a regular basis. And I think they found something with their running game. And I expect them to keep going back to that.
So we have 2nd and 4 for the Patriots. It's a handoff to Costabile.
For the first down,
McLean with the tackle, and yes, that is a first down for Stevenson. Play starting to look familiar.
Very familiar.
Well, again.
But what's going to happen? They have to keep bringing the linebackers up, put more people in the box, and try to take away this running game. That's going to give Stevenson an opportunity to go up top. And the Red Devils are playing very aggressive on the receivers.
Another handoff to Costabile. One thing we didn't mention is we have a new quarterback. Zachary Hirsch is out there for Stevenson now. We knew we were going to see both of them today. Coaching staff said that they both earned the chance to get some snaps. Crowley was able to win the starting competition, but it's still going to be an open competition with so much youth on this offense and defense especially.
And, you know, when you're playing both, you never know how a young man's going to develop. And you never know what you'll find.
Looks like we had some movement on the Stevenson offensive line. Let's find out. And that is the case. We're going to be marching them back 5 yards. going to stay second down.
Start against Stevenson.
13 to go now.
It'll be second down.
That's Hirsch. Costable next to him in the backfield. 3 receivers, and that's a little end, and Costable finds a little bit of opening there. And he is brought down by number 7, Carmelo Brooks on the corner. That was a nice tackle to open field, but that's a first down for Stevenson.
Very much so. If it's running that works, you got to keep running.
Now we saw a little bounce to the outside that time too. So
Yes. It's a lot easier to hand the ball off and let your running back do the work than it is to throw it and hope somebody catches it.
unless you're a running back, I don't know. We know the running backs, they all want that ball, and here we go. Similar play over there. We get outside.
Well, you know what they say about the running back and the ball. It's not heavy. So you can carry it as many times as you want.
Well, that's Thorndike with the first down for Stevenson. As the clock winds down, we're at about 8:20 in the second quarter, 8:20 to halftime.
Stevenson really seems to be moving the ball and eating up clock.
Well, another outside handoff there. Thorndike again. Nice little pickup there. Caden Lyons with the tackle, a 5'9" senior for the Red Devils. It's going to take us to second down. About 5. Looks like a long 5. Another hand, that is to Costable, right up the middle, and starting to close that gap a little bit, Terry. Starting to,
Well,
they got the first down, but
it wasn't a 7-8 yard run. The difference is, at this point, I believe the Red Devils are going to have to get some penetration. You know, penetration typically upsets the time between the quarterback and the running back. And right now, they're not getting any penetration. The Stevenson line is doing a great job.
well, you can key on the run at this point. I'm sure Stevenson has some pass plays in the bag for when you start to overplay it. But right now, they haven't put the ball in the air. And now that's a keeper.
Good job.
Hirsch gets out there, but he's met by a couple of Red Devils on the short sideline. Stays in bounds.
I believe that was Sebastian DeRose. That was a fantastic play on the outside. He protected his edge.
He's a 6'2", 200-pound junior. He's one of the leaders of this Bradford defense. We're going to be, that was a gain of 2. So 2nd and 8 now for Stevenson. Hirsch brings the play in from the sideline. He's joined in the backfield by Costable. A big cover on the right side over there, and that's where they go. Costable gets tripped up, though. It's going to bring us a 3rd down.
Tripped up by Carmelo Brooks.
Brooks, our first-year football player, with the tackle on that.
It'll be 3rd down.
The last play, it was another running play. However, Amon Burris, who is the one receiver that they targeted early, is one-on-one on the outside.
23-yard line.
A little play-action pass might get them an opportunity to go deep.
Thorndike now in the backfield with Hirsch. And that was the man in motion. Costable around the corner and comes up a little short. Couldn't quite punch it through there. Going to bring up a 4th down for Stevenson.
I will tell you that young Mr. Constable runs hard. He finishes a run. So when he gets there, he hits the tackle.
So that's Alex Drapchek on the far side, and Stevenson's going to take a timeout. They're going to talk this over a little bit. We have 5:19 still till halftime here in the second quarter. Kenosha 14, Stevenson 7.
on that Stevenson sideline, you gotta look at that. Basically, they're on the 20-yard line. It's too close. Do you have a kicker that can make a 30-yard field goal at this point, 37-yard field goal? Maybe we don't know that yet. But what we do know is it's too close for a special teams play. So we might as well keep your offense on the field and run a play that you're confident in. And you should be able to get 3 yards.
Well, we saw Drabchik coming in on that play, so wondering if they had some package lined up for him over there. But not sure that they were able to get the play in to the rest of the offense. So let's see what the personnel looks like here. Hirsch is out there, so we will be going for it. Let's see what they've got up their sleeves. It's the time to break out all of those short yardage winning plays, since there's no film right now on these teams. And how about a hard count?
Hard count might have gotten it. There was some contact there.
False
they caught on Stevenson.
Well, that's the worst thing when you're Coach Becker. You take a timeout, you've lined something up, and your snap count gets messed up.
He had contact made. Maybe one of the big fellas moved. So you still have 4th down. Now you need 8.
Hirsch brings the play in from the far sideline.
Coming off a timeout.
So Hirsch back, a lot of pressure. And complete, that's to Burris. Oh, and he is brought down. That is a first down for the Patriots.
So Stevenson's now in the red zone, and they're on the 12. They still have room to get a first down.
They are on the, looks like a short 7.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a 7.
In your defense, there are a lot of lines on that field right now.
I have to apologize for that.
There are a lot of lines out there. These turf stadiums, they're multi-use, Terry.
Very much so.
Not like back in the day. We didn't let anybody else on that field. There was no soccer. There was no band. And a little inside it is looking like, if we get the legs going. And Constable, 2nd, 3rd, 4th effort, unable to be brought down, and he punches it in. That is an 8-yard touchdown for the Stevenson Patriots. So we went from 4th down, penalty, pushback, to a great completion, and then finishing the play there.
Well, basically, they did that rare thing for today. They threw a pass, picked up the first down, and then they went back to Mr. Constable.
And Caden On punches it through, and we have a tie game now, Terry. 14 all. We're at about 5 minutes in the second quarter here.
Well, you know, one thing you can't say, both teams are being successful offensively. They're just doing it in different ways. And so at halftime, there'll be quite a bit of discussion on what we're going to do on either side to try to take away some of that offense.
Well, and we talked about all the running that Stevenson did in the so far 2 quarters, right? And so that was the time, right? You step back, you've got 4th down, and now we're going to air it out. Now we're going to put something out there. We're going to try to sneak somebody back there, and that's exactly what they were able to do. Burris snuck right behind the secondary, just in the right spot to make himself open. He didn't have to go anywhere further. They needed that first down. That was all they needed.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great route. Burris kind of dragged over the middle, and then the receiver on the outside ran a post route and pulled the defensive back away from the area, which left them wide open. All you needed was a good pass, which they had. First down.
Darren Ham, Lorenz Pratt, technique to receive the kickoff from Stevenson.
Well, we're calling Caden On's name a lot today, the kicker for Stevenson. He is counting his players up again, and the deep backs here.
Ryan Ham is back there again. Mr. Ham was the one that went to the house on the first play of the game.
And Lorenz Pratt. Still no wind. So we'll see where guessing they're not going to take their chances if they don't have to.
Get it to the end zone.
That's going to be a little short. Oh, we're going to come out. So that's Lorenz Pratt, and he has nowhere to go. He's brought down on the 16 by Stevenson, by a host of Stevenson special teamers. So Bradford's going to go ahead and take over.
Very good coverage that time by Stevenson.
So we talk about the Stevenson running game. Well, the Bradford running game has not been successful.
Well, I tell you, if Bradford can keep throwing the ball, you know, they'll force Stevenson to back some people off the line of scrimmage and try to make them do it with just their line.
Wheaton's the only one with positive yardage right now. Both Childers, Ethan and Marcus, both with losses in the running game. So Bradford's been doing it well with the passing game, of course, and well, that return game helps a little bit too.
Conversation on the field.
I think we're talking about
they're asking for an adjustment in the clock.
So there was a point in that last drive that I think the clock may not have started. I think there was a free play for Stevenson. So it looks like they're going to try to maybe run it down a few seconds. They're trying to communicate.
Well, we all got to remember this is the first game for everybody, including the man with the clock.
Man with the clock, the two guys with microphones right now.
Everybody's getting their footing, and they'll be perfect next week.
All right, there we go. We got 4:48. It is first down for the Red Devils. Devin Wheaton in the backfield. That is a handoff up the middle to Marcus Childers. Not a whole lot of way to go there.
Yeah. Tackled by Mr. Agakan.
Brought down by Ali Adamo. The second down for Bradford.
So that brings us to second down. One receiver at the top. We've got a slot receiver and one at the bottom. Wheaton just takes the snap and goes up the middle.
Devin Wheaton, the ball carrier.
Picks up a few. He's about 2 yards short of the first down.
That formation is a formation that you're going to run out of 90% of the time. I think the Red Devils want to make a point that they can run the ball too.
Again, not much success with it in the first quarter, but we know that they have a couple of backs that are more than capable. We also know that Devin Wheaton is certainly a dangerous quarterback with his feet as well as his arm. This time he is going to step back and pass. He looks to Shiplett, who again, right in the middle of that zone and down the sideline. He is all the way to the end zone. A pretty simple play, again, right in between the zone there, right behind the linebackers, wide open across the middle, and man, Terry, right down the line.
Right down the line. Well, with Mr. Shipley, like when he crossed the midfield, you know, basically they're playing his zone. And so as someone crosses the midfield when you play a zone, you're really passing it. And when he caught it, the person that's supposed to be in that area wasn't there. And so they kind of made a mistake in the coverage. That happens when you're a younger team. And that's something that they can fix at halftime.
That was a 76-yard touchdown there. Catch and run. That was Mason Runyard with the point after. It was good. It is 21-14. Bradford leads Stevenson with 3 minutes and 21 seconds in the second quarter.
Well, I'm telling you, Mr. Shipley is putting on a bit of a show, and they're featuring him too. So they may not be able to run the ball consistently, but sometimes you don't feel like you have to be able to run the ball when you throw it to somebody who runs 60, 70 yards.
Well, Nolan Shipley picking up where he left off last week as well. He had 2 scores last week, one of 36 yards, one of 20. he has some Division III offers, and he definitely has some next-level speed, as we've seen a few times.
And I'll be honest with you, he has some Division III offers. If he keeps playing like this, he'll see some Division I offers.
Well, he can run, and he's 6'4".
Which goes a long way. There's a lot of really fast receivers, but not a lot of really fast 6'4" receivers.
Thomas Simmons back deep. To receive the kickoff.
So we have Simmons and Hirsch back deep for the Patriots. Runyard is going to do the kick.
Zach Hirsch back deep to receive the kickoff.
That one is in the end zone. We're going to bring it back out to the 20.
Stevenson.
Yeah, we talk about how young and first game. Terry, what was it like, that first game of the season when you were playing after you've had all this time getting ready and prepping for a season?
Well, first and foremost, when you show up at the game, you're so excited because this is the first time you hit another color jersey. And you've hit your friends for about 2 or 3 weeks by this time. And you're either really close friends by that time or they begin to hate you. And so when you get here, you get an opportunity to hit somebody, they're going to cheer you when you hit them. And so you're really going to take that opportunity to be overjoyed.
Get excited. How much anxiety do you think these kids have at this level, as we see Hirsch is still the quarterback right now for Stevenson?
You have a lot of anxiety when it's your first game.
Speaking of anxiety, we have a flag on the play that is on Stevenson. A delay of game.
You have a lot of anxiety when you have your first game. But I will say that the Red Devils have a bit of an advantage because they play the game. And you make your biggest hop and improvement from game 1 to game 2. Now, this is Stevenson's first game, and so they're going to have to make that hop at halftime.
So it's Costabile in the backfield with Hirsch. He's going to take the handoff and try to get around, and he is not able to get anywhere over there.
It does seem like Bradford's having a little more penetration.
Looks like Wyatt Rash with the tackle there. Bradford has game 2, but another difference in Wisconsin compared to Illinois is they can play a scrimmage game against another school as well. So in a way, it's almost week 3, maybe 2.5, right? Like you get a chance to get a lot of those jitters out in a scrimmage against another school, and then they come out and play their first game. And again, Stevenson, all they've been doing is hitting their buddies for the past couple of weeks. That pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Javion Williams got a hand on that one.
Got some pressure that time.
6'2", 190-pound junior gets his hands up. Going to bring up a third down.
I will say that about that scrimmage game. The good thing about a scrimmage game is you get an opportunity to play those kids that are not going to start. And so those kids are ready to play when you put them in the game. A night like tonight, you're going to need more than 22. You're going to get some kids to come out the bench and make some impact in the game.
Well, that's a good point. Like, give them a chance. The kids that are, you want to keep your starters healthy for the actual games, but you get some actual game speed with the guys that you're going to have to rely on. I mean, high school football is a long season. Guys get banged up. You do have to go deep. There's a reason they're carrying all these guys. That pass is incomplete. We saw some pressure there by Javion Williams again. He is getting through he's found a way to get through that line. That's going to bring up a fourth down now as we see the Stevenson punt team take the field.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at Mr. Williams, Javion had heavy pressure because that was a screen. That was the play designed to go a long way when you get that pressure. But his pressure was so quick, it upset the timing of the screen. They had to throw it early.
So punt formation. That ball is fielded. Hands down. That was Naren Hamp, who wasn't able to keep a handle on it, but he was able to recover his own fumble.
You know, it really looked like that Mr. Ham looked upfield to see where they were. And when he saw that they weren't close, he got excited. After you run to the house on one kick, you feel like you could do it every time you catch it. I think he was looking to go to the house again.
Well, yeah, that's the key, right? You need the ball to be able to run with it, for sure.
You need the ball first.
That's all right. We are still, Bradford takes over in Stevenson territory there on the 45-yard line. That's going to be first down. And we see a big passing package again. 3 receivers on the near side, 1 on the far. Devin Wheaton is lined up with 1 back in the backfield. And we are going to do a screen. That's to Lorenz Pratt. 6 foot 155. He is a freshman, Terry. There are a lot of young guys on this offense. There are 4 sophomores starting, 1 freshman. We do have 5 seniors to go with those guys, as it brings up a first down.
And
no, excuse me, second down and 9.
And they ran that play to Mr. Pratt, which means they expect him to be able to run. That's one of those Tyreek Hill plays. You throw it to him and just let him run around some people.
Clock continues to wind. We've got about 1.5 minutes left in the half as Wheaton steps back and incomplete. Little bit of an overthrow there to his intended receiver. That was Lorenz Pratt. Lays out, not quite able to get to that one. Looked like he got rushed a little bit.
Yeah, I think some of it, that he kind of lost line of sight, because that was more of a sidearm throw than what is usually his throwing motion that we've seen earlier today. And so he kind of like slung it, kind of like a sidearm pitcher in baseball, and it was a little off target. But this is an opportunity for Stevenson to get their defense off the field and stop a potential score.
And a clock stop, too. They were able to do that. So we've got 3rd and long for Bradford.
Screen.
And a big rush in. Bradford tries to get behind that screen, but nothing doing there. Nice job of Stevenson to step up and stop anything else from happening there. That pass was complete to Ethan Childers.
Yeah. Luke Nelson made a great read. I mean, he recognized that he got through a little too cleanly, and he stopped with the running back. So when the running back caught the ball, he was there for the stop.
Well, we've had 3 plays of a lot of activity in a very small amount of space, and we've only seen the ball move 1 yard. Wheaton is in the backfield now. We've got 4th down for the Red Devils. Wheaton's trying to get a play.
They have no problem burning this clock here.
No, I see Coach Guy standing right next to the official, so I am guessing that's exactly what they're waiting to see.
It's basically been an offensive game in this first half, and so I believe that Bradford will burn up all this clock if they can.
Head coach Gosman Asmani was standing right there waiting for the clock or the time to tick down, and takes his first time out of the half. So we have 37 seconds left, 4th down, and about 9 for Bradford. Let's see what they're going to bring back out. What would you do here? You've got 37 seconds. Go for it. Try to kick it. You want to put it back in Stevenson's hands, even though there's only a half a minute left.
Well, since I have big receivers, what I would do is work on those big receivers like Shiplett in the middle. And I throw the ball to Shiplett in the middle, hopefully get 10 to 15 yards, run up to the line of scrimmage, be prepared with another play, which he has the opportunity to call 2 plays and they have a timeout, and come back with a second play. But I would keep the ball in the air. So either I get a catch or the ball goes to the ground and we stop the clock. So I have another opportunity.
Well, it looks like they're going to send their offense out here. So we will see how you do with your play calling here, Terry. I kind of like it. I mean, you've got Wheaton, you've got Shiplett. They're both seniors. This is the time that you want to use that experience, right?
Yeah. Just remember, I was a lineman. They don't let me call plays. They just tell me what to do.
But as we know, the game is won and lost up front.
Won and lost in the trenches.
We'll give you the credit. We know.
I'm waiting on one of my buddies to get a Heisman.
We know. Yep. All right. Well,
here we go.
Wheaton is in the backfield by himself. We've got 5 out, ready to go. 3 at the top, 2 on the bottom.
Got rid of
and we're going to go try to go for all of it. And you were right. Shiplett was the guy.
I have to apologize for yelling. I got a little excited. Mr. Shiffler's been pretty potent this first half.
Armand Burris was the defensive player there, was on it, and that ball just overthrown a little bit. But you were right. I mean, look, you see, linemen can make calls. Just because it didn't happen, it didn't work. Well designed. I mean,
well designed.
So we got 31 seconds left. Stevenson takes over at their own 44.
I expect Bradford to drop some people in coverage and try to keep everyone in front of them. Got some pressure.
Crowley is back in the backfield, and that ball is incomplete, intended for Zachary Becker. So this may tell us if they have a running and a passing quarterback. Although I imagine game one that some of these possessions are scripted for both quarterbacks. If they're going to go back and forth. Again, Crawley is a sophomore, first-year varsity player.
I mean, they have two young quarterbacks. They both look pretty talented.
So 26 seconds left, and Crawley does a nice job crawling that. That looked like a little bit of a lateral to Burris. Burris does not get out of bounds. Did he get out? I think they're going to measure. So they brought it over into Red Devil territory with about 16 seconds to go. It's going to give us a third down, but Stevenson goes ahead and takes their second time out of the half. So that passing game that we haven't seen yet. Now we're seeing a little bit of it. Not getting huge chunks of yardage to start, but going to chip away at it a little bit.
Well, it does seem that Bradford's doing a good job picking up receivers. On the other hand, Stevenson is not putting a lot of people into the route. They have leaned very heavily on their run game. But this is a time that, maybe that run game could pay off. Maybe you can fake it long, run a draw, or look for another screen. And so if you can get some space for your running back to run, he might be able to break a couple tackles because they've done a good job of breaking tackles.
Well, the scoreboard says 1.9 seconds.
I think they're going to change that clock.
Yeah, I see the officials are looking up and looking. Yep, they're trying to contact the box.
Yeah.
19.3 is what I heard.
Yeah, I think so.
19.3 is what they're asking.
It takes a little while.
I know, having done some scoreboard for basketball, I do not envy, especially having to figure out how to put the time up there now.
Well,
I know how to count it down. Adding it back up there, that gets tricky, Terry. It's math.
It does. And the other thing is, depending on the type of clock, you have to actually reset the clock in order to take the time back to where you want it, so you're at the right spot. Because I run the clock at a high school.
There we go. 19
is not necessarily the easiest thing.
No, it is not. Everybody,
especially when everybody's staring at you, change the time.
There's nobody in this press box right now that wants to be looked at.
No.
They said if you're a clock official or you're official on the field, that you want nobody to know you were working that day. That's how you know you had a good day. So here we go.
It's a run.
That is a run.
See if he can break a tackle.
Uh-oh, and just what you were talking about. Just what you were talking about.
Uh-oh. Time out.
Constable gets up and down inside the 20.
I mean, honestly, what I believe had happened is, in order to stop the run, because they had slowed down the run, they had brought a lot of people into the box. So now we get to 30 seconds or less. They back those people out of the box. They're in the secondary. He breaks the initial line of scrimmage, and then it's just open field running, of which they've shown they've done a very good job of open field running. And so next thing you know, they run the ball 30 yards, and now they're within striking distance with the same type of running play that they were running in the first quarter.
Stevenson took its third and final timeout. They are still trailing in this game by one touchdown. 8.7 seconds to go. We are on, let's call it the 16. First down. What do you run here, Terry? 8-7.
I think you have to take the opportunity to throw the ball in the end zone. And if it's incomplete, it stops the clock. And if you have enough time, you can throw it again. If not, you can kick a field goal.
Yeah, and we think On's a pretty solid kicker, so we have Crawley in the backfield right now. Let's see what they do. He's got 2 receivers and 1 on the backfield. He's going to put it up as a jump ball in the end zone. Incomplete.
Dropped the ball. Now you still have 4 seconds left. Put your field goal team on the field.
Looked like Burris was the intended receiver. Defended by Carmelo Brooks. We've been calling his name a lot again for first-time football player.
He's a great athlete, you know. And I think Coach said he was a baller, which meant basketball. And he seems to be a really good athlete.
So 33-yard attempt for On is up, and it is good. He got it. So that's going to take us to the end of the half. Bradford still leads 21. Stevenson Patriots 17. So a good way to end the half for the Patriots. You get down, at least chip away at that lead a little bit. Terry, what do you think about that first half so far?
Well, the first half shows that both teams' offenses are ready to go. Obviously, the Patriots on the ground, and obviously Bradford through the air. But the other thing it showed is that the Patriots are ready to play at the end of the half. If this game comes down to the last second, they managed the clock very well. They went to the end zone, gave themselves an opportunity to score a touchdown. It didn't happen. They have a good field goal kicker. They were able to kick the field goal. Now, on the other hand, Bradford has to manage what they need to do to slow down or stop the run. They had gotten to that point toward the middle of the second quarter, but when they had to step back and try to take away the long pass, they allowed the run.
He's Terry Harrell. I am Eric Schmidt. We are on the CAC network in Lincolnshire. We are headed to the half where the visitors from Kenosha, Bradford 21 and Stevenson Patriots 17. Keep it here. We'll be right back.
Every goal, every touchdown, a promise, and that promise deserves safeguarding. Introducing draft protection and loss of value insurance. Dream without limits. We've got the coverage. Opalentia. Plan your legacy. Call us now at 708-505-9719.
We are back in Lincolnshire, Terry, and it is a 21-17 game. The visitors from Bradford lead the host Patriots, and this is a good game for a team from Wisconsin coming in to face an 8A power, and this Bradford team didn't win a single game last year.
And one thing it does show, when you have a lot of young kids and you put them out there on the field, they learn a lot. And so those kids, as I said, they got revved up last week, had a great game last week. And this week they're having a very good game and they're making a game out of this. Stevenson hopefully can make some adjustments and take control of this game. But at this point, until somebody can stand in front of Mr. Shiplet, who I believe has approximately 180 yards in receiving in the first half, it's going to be a problem for Stevenson.
Well, his quarterback, Devin Wheaton, is 6 of 10 passing for 175 yards and 2 scores. Would you like to guess who has the yards receiving?
Well, just watching the game, I'd have to go with Mr. Shiplet.
He does. He is all but one. All but 1 yard. The other 1 yard, of course, to Lorenz Pratt was in the second quarter when they were at midfield. Now, talking about the other side of the ball, the run game for Stevenson, well, it has been absolutely killer so far. The biggest damage has been happening from Frank Costabile, the sophomore. He is 133 yards at the half on 13 carries. He's got a score as well, Terry. Talk about the run game so far for them.
Well, the run game from Stevenson, basically, first and foremost, you got to give it to the line. The line is making nice size holes. And Mr. Constable runs with some mean intentions. When he gets to the tackler, he hits the tackler. There's some running backs that'll just take a hit. He's delivering the hit.
Their other score on the ground from Christopher Thorndike. He has 52 yards on the ground, 7 carries.
And I mean, these running yards, it has a lot to do with the running back finding the correct hole. But the bottom line, this offensive line is playing fantastic. And so they come off the ball, they're agile. And the one thing that they do that a lot of high school kids don't do, they do a good job with their feet. Their feet are nice and wide, so they're able to move with the defender, and they stick to a defender when they're blocking. And that's what gives a running back room.
For Bradford on the ground, their running game has been non-existent the first half. They've only put it on the ground 7 times. Pruitt has 7 yards, but nothing going for the running back for them so far. So the passing game, we're going to have to see if that stick continues in the second half.
Well, I think they might have some opportunities to run the ball because, to be quite honest, the Patriots are going to have to step back and try to take away Mr. Shiplett, which would give them an opportunity to run the ball.
Well, our kick to start the second half goes into the back of the end zone, so we are going to bring it out to the 20. We're going to give a big thank you right now. We don't want to go too much further. We have to say thanks to Casey Sellers and Don Johnson, our producers, who have really brought this back, bringing football back to the high school level out here. And want to give a little shout out to one of our former colleagues, Mark Kruger, who is in the Hall of Fame for high school basketball here in the state of Illinois. Was a longtime announcer for Comcast, for Weigel, for other outlets, and we lost him unexpectedly a couple weeks ago. We know that he's playing a role in helping us get through this as we see Stevenson, go figure,
Constable.
put the ball on the ground again, and that's Constable.
That's
He's going
Constable.
down the line. Does he have enough speed? He
He's
just has
gone.
one man to beat, and he does. He gets past Watkins. That is an 80-yard score. How about that?
Be honest, 80 yards is 80 yards, whether you do it through the air or whether you do it on the ground. And that is a big pick-me-up for a team. They scored right before the half, and they came out and they run an 80-yard touchdown on the first play from scrimmage. You got to be happy if you're a Stevenson coach. Now, can they stop that passing game of Kenosha?
Well, we are 13 seconds into the second half. It's pretty much just as quick of a score as the first half when we started the game with a kick return. That kick is good for Ron. It is 24-21 early in the third quarter. Stevenson takes the first lead of the game.
Well, I'll tell you, a lot of people showed up at this game tonight, and right now they're getting their money's worth. They got like a high school football game full of touchdowns already, and we just started the second half.
Well, we are in Lincolnshire. I'm Eric Schmidt, joined by Terry Harrell, former Northwestern Wildcat, and a longtime basketball coach at Willowbrook High School. How did an old football guy wind up getting into basketball?
Well, to be quite honest, I was a pretty good football player when I was in high school, which got me to Northwestern. But I love basketball. I grew up in a small town, Beloit, Wisconsin, which was so basketball crazy. I used to call it the Friday Night Lights of basketball. And I mean, we had like 6 NBA players. I personally played with 3 NBA players when I was in high school.
Who? Come on.
Bob Grady, drafted by the Mavericks.
Yep.
Bill Hanslick, drafted by the Nuggets,
Yep.
coach, played 12 years. And Tony Carr, drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm telling you, it was basketball night in Beloit was a holiday. Every game.
Football's the job, baskall's the passion. I like
Basketball's
it.
a passion. That's why I coach basketball. But I love this game. There's nothing like excitement of a high school football Friday night with the lights on.
Well, you're going to see the kick, and it is going to be fielded at the 1. So Bradford's going to go ahead and try and bring it out, and nothing doing over there. Looked like fry tag on the return. So that's going to lead to a first down now. Bradford's first chance to touch the ball in the second half comes in a whopping 35 seconds into the second half after a score.
Well, the thing is, I'm telling you, Stevenson is pumped up now. You see if their defense answers the call and either bring some pressure or bump that receiver, Mr. Shiplett, and stop him from running 60 or 70 yards.
Well, we talked about the youth, and Stevenson also, they're starting 4 sophomores on this defensive side of the ball.
Which is pretty amazing that you can put 4 sophomores out there along with a handful of other people that hadn't started before. And now it's they've learned a lot in the first half. They have to take lessons from the first half and apply them now, which is something they don't have as a disadvantage to Kenosha, because Kenosha had a game already. And there's nothing like that game experience to make you better that second game. So the question is, will it be better in pass defense in the second half?
Well, and Stevenson, one returning starter. I guess you can call it two returning starters. It just happens to be the same player, Ethan Agakan, on the line on both sides. Is the only guy that came back, the senior out here right now, as we see the ball. Ooh, now we see a little pop through. Looked like Ethan Childers on the ground, the sophomore. He did not play in week one.
They really
Comes up just short of the first down, Terry.
They really seem to have good running backs. They just haven't had much room to run. So,
well, yeah, we see a full house backfield there. So that was Ethan Childers again on the ground. He punches through for a first down. We saw the full house there, everybody packed in. First time we didn't see a spread offense.
it really looks like they ran this formation, this bunch formation, in the first half, and it really looks to me that they want to establish a run for the second half.
So Watkins under center, hands off again on the inside.
With the ball?
Not a whole lot doing. Can't tell. The ball might have hit the ground.
Caught.
Flag on the play.
Looked like the ball carrier there was Freitag. Thought there might have been a flag, but it looks like they picked it up. So the clock continues to run.
No flag, he picks it up.
Second down.
So we got second down and a long 9 for the Red Devils. Same formation again. Looks like we have both Childers brothers in the backfield. And that is a keeper. That is going to be Wheaton, but he has nowhere to go. Brought down by number 5, Anthony Adams.
Anthony Adams. Early third down.
When you run outside, it gives Stevenson a chance to show their speed. The Stevenson defense is not the biggest defense, but it's a very quick defense.
Mm-hmm.
So from side to side, they can take things away. I think if the Red Devils want to continue to run, they might want to continue to run up the middle.
Back to a spread. Wheaton back to throw. He finds a receiver. That's Colin Freitag, and he is out.
A good completion.
So that's a first down for Bradford. Short of midfield here.
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay.
So now we have first down. We're going to see the spread again for Bradford. Red Devils back. That is Ethan Childers in the backfield with Wheaton. 4 receivers, 2 at the top, 1 in the slot, 1 on the bottom here. And we have a flag. So let's see what the call is. It looks like offsides on Stevenson. So we are going to march that ball right over midfield into Patriot territory. We are going to be first down and 5 to go.
First down and 5.
Saw the jitters again there, Terry. A little bit jumpy.
You come out of halftime, you're excited. You had the big touchdown, you made the big stop on the special teams. Just a little excited.
So that's a fake. Wheaton's going to go ahead and keep it, and he has really nowhere to go. Breaks a tackle. Maybe earns another yard off of that.
It was some good defense that time, and some good defense at the time, and quite honestly,
It'll be second down at about 6.
Aga Khan was in the middle there. Looks like we got about 2nd and 4 here to go. So 3 receivers to the near side now for the Red Devils. As Wheaton sets back with 1 runner, and it is a handoff.
Good job.
Childers, and nowhere to go at the line of scrimmage that time. Tackle by Washington.
Loss of a couple, I think.
Looked like Aga Khan also in on the mix there. And they are indeed, Terry, you're right. They are pushed them back another yard or so. So we're right at the 50.
But this kind of plays into Bradford's hands because Bradford's been very good with the pass, and this is an opportunity to throw the ball.
So we've got third down for Bradford. Wheaton awaits the snap. And, picks it up off the ground. He is going to take a sack. That was number 52. Brought down in the backfield, Luke Nelson.
Well, they were sending pressure, and so they had pressure coming off of both ends. And they had very little resistance. They came out wide. They just took off coming. They expected a pass, and really the bad snap was a 12th defender for them.
Sure.
And
Takes
so
the timing off.
Threw the timing off. Quarterback didn't have opportunity to catch the ball and prepare to throw the ball. And so a little bit of fortune came the Patriots' way.
So Mason Runyard with the first punt for Bradford, and that ball lands at the 20, and it looks like it is going to be downed around the 15. That is Lorenz Pratt waiting for the ball to stop rolling, so we're going to get a change of possession now. Stevenson is going to be 1st and 10 from their own 15-yard line. We've got about 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. Stevenson still leads 24-21 right now over the Red Devils.
And you know, the fact that Stevenson was able to stop Kenosha Bradford that drive is a big stop. In a game like this, where the teams are just going back and forth and going up and down the field, one stop, two stops could be the difference in the game. And so Stevenson now has that 3-point lead. They now have the ball, and they have that really solid running game.
So we have the sophomore Aiden Crawley is back at quarterback. He ended the first half as well. Almost a bad snap. He's going to step back and throw. That pass is completed to Thomas Simmons. And that's going to be a first down for Stevenson. Just gets it past the 25, so that's about a gain of 11. So now we're seeing Stevenson put the ball in the air a little bit. Some second half adjustments.
Yeah, you put the ball in the air a little bit. Hopefully they'll have to adjust to that, and then you go right back to the run. Like that.
Right on cue. That's Christopher Thorndike, and he is up to the 46-yard line. That's another first down for Stevenson.
Stevenson on the move again.
Brooks with the tackle on that one. From his defensive back position, the Hooper, as we talked about earlier, he'd been pestered. Coach Goss said he was pestering him since he was a freshman. He finally got through. 4 years, Terry. 4 years. Is that what high schoolers are like?
I'm telling you, when you get a senior, seniors without experience are valuable.
Yep. Well, almost a bad snap. Crawley was able to corral it, hand it off to Thorndike again. That's going to bring up a second down for the Patriots. Excuse me. That is a first down. Credit him a first down into Bradford territory. We are at first down on the 44 right now. So we're going to see another run. Trying to get through. Wasn't able to quite get anywhere there.
Ethan McClain really made that play that time. His penetration forced the runner to step around him and jump over, which gave the rest of the defense time to recover. And so they're going to need somebody to make another big play to slow down this running game. They can't continue to allow the Patriots to just hand the ball off and get 5-10 yards a pop.
Frank Costabo was the ball carrier on that play. And he continues to be in the backfield right now with Crawley. 2nd down and 9 for the Patriots. And that's Costable up the middle. He gets through. One man to beat there. Brought down, a little touchdown saving tackle there.
Brought down by Carmelo Brooks.
Carmelo Brooks, we're calling his name a lot, but
Patriot.
on the ground again. Jason Newberger, offensive coordinator for Stevenson, is calling out the plays right now, and they all seem to be working on this drive. Nice sustained drive. The clock is still running, Terry.
I'm telling you now, Mr. Brooks is making a lot of tackles, but that's not the tackle you want him making. You want somebody in that front 7 to make that tackle. That means they're getting pretty deep before they get contact.
Well, and that's Costable again, breaking some tackles, and that's Brooks again making the tackle. So you're right, getting into that backfield, defensive backfield, and thankfully Brooks is there to cover some ground.
At this point, they're going to have to take some chances and try to get some penetration. Because without penetration, the Patriots that running game is deadly at this point.
So that run gets Stevenson to a 1st down. We are on the 10-yard line, so it is 1st and goal for the Patriots. Same personnel, Costable in the backfield with Crawley. Another high snap. Crawley brings it down again, and Costable up on the left side, on the far side a little bit. Looks like a gain of 5 for the Patriots.
And the Patriots have really gone back to their strong suit. And to this point, Bradford hasn't found a way to stop the running game.
So Crawley bringing the play in, the official timeout or no? Are they going to credit Stevenson with the timeout? I think he's saying an official timeout.
Well, somebody fell on the way on the run off to the sideline. I couldn't see a number. And then a lot of teammates were crowded around trying to pick him up on the Stevenson sideline. And they were forced to take a timeout because you just had a kid laying on the field. So it looks like he might have made his way back to the bench at this point.
The official coming to the Bradford sideline to explain.
And although this is a very fast-paced game, it is probably a time where either the officials or the coaches have to incorporate some kind of timeout because it's been very hot this week. It's not quite as hot today, but it's really hot with pads on, trust me. And these kids are getting tired, and they're playing extremely hard. So,
well, and they haven't had the pads on this week, really, I'm guessing, either, with all the heat. So
no,
that doubles it even. I mean, you haven't even been playing with the pads. You've been probably just doing mostly walkthroughs, or if you're getting out, you're getting out first thing in the morning before dawn.
And so you come out, really competitive game. It's really hot. You're playing hard.
So Crawley again. Thorndike is the deep back. Handoff is to Thorndike.
Oh, it's Thorndike.
And a whole lot of nothing there. It's going to bring down 3rd down and about 4.
Brought down by Sebastian DeRose. It'll be 3rd down for Stevenson.
The Stevenson coaching staff is giving the play to Crawley. Brent Becker, head coach in his 12th season here, his 5th as a head coach. Spent 7 years here as an offensive assistant. He was hired here by Coach Bill McNamara, who's coached for 7 years and has that state championship in the year that they won state in football and boys basketball. That Jalen Brunson name in basketball may be familiar to basketball fans or sports fans in general. So 3rd down and about 4.
Run pass option. Run pass option.
Constable was in motion. Crawley keeps it and nowhere to go there. Met by a host of Bradford defenders. Now we got fourth down. So Terry, we've just seen a lot of success with the run, but now that the Red Devils had their back against the wall, not so much success. What do you think we're going to see here?
I like the call from the last play, the run pass option, but they ran it as a counter. I think I would like to see them run the run pass option in one direction and give the quarterback the opportunity to take the run or to hand it off to Mr. Constable. Is he in the game?
Yep. Constable is there unless he's coming off. No.
Oh.
Yep, he is coming off.
Okay. Sorry about that, Coach. But
David Akisaboye was the player that just came out, but we're taking a lot of time. I am guessing there it is, the timeout for Stevenson. They're going to spend a little more time talking this over. You know, Brett Becker, the head coach here, he spent 4 years as the head coach at Lake Forest College as well. He wound up staying in the area, lives in the district. He teaches PE and health here, and he's been interesting. He was a linebacker in college, and then he got into offense after that. And he just really, he loves coaching the O-line. He feels that that's the biggest impact on a game, since we talked earlier that the games are won in those trenches, right? Mm-hmm. But he says the biggest period of growth he had was when he hired, or he moved to the offensive side when he was at Lake Forest as a head coach. He is a big fan of bringing in the best coach he can. Doesn't matter what side of the ball they work on. If you bring in the best people, you work around them. And his goal, he takes this from Tony Dungy, his goal is to be the worst coach on his staff. You know, he laughs, he says, I want the best people around me, and if they're better than me, that is great. So he said sometimes that best coach that they're looking for may not fit your exact needs. Again, Jim Cannizzaro is the head coach at Lake Forest now. He's the guy that Coach Becker brought in.
I tell you,
he learns. You learn as a coach.
If you look at it that way, you definitely learn as a coach. You learn every day as a coach. You either learn on your own by watching film and watching other teams, or you learn this way. And the fact that you're willing to hire somebody that you think is a better coach than you shows your confidence.
Well, speaking of confidence, we have fourth down and goal here. Crawley in the backfield, and he's going to take the snap. Oh, and pressure from Bradford. That is, he breaks the first tackle from Freitag, but he is not able to escape the second one. That is Sebastian DeRose with the takedown. We are going to have a turnover in downs here with a minute left in the third quarter. Bradford takes over inside their own 10. Chasing 3 points. And we'll see if they look to put the ball in the air from the back of their own side of the field now.
That was an outstanding play by Colin Freitag. He made a great play. They forced the quarterback out wide, but they have a lot of speed on the perimeter. But Colin Freitag held down the perimeter and forced them out of bounds with a tackle. A big play for Kenosha. That, believe it or not, might have been a game-saving play.
Well, that was a big one. That was Al Wheaton on the carry there, on the keeper.
The way these two teams are going back and forth, the reason I say that was a game-saving play is because Stevenson had stopped Kenosha, and that would have given them 3 scores in a row. So Kenosha, with that stop, kind of puts them back in the game. That means this score, they can still take the lead instead of still chasing it. And so it's very important for them to get that stop.
So the Red Devils letting the clock run a little bit as Wheaton takes the snap, steps back to throw. He has a receiver. That is number 34, Marcus Childers. And he is close to a first down. Yes, they're going to give it to him.
Another thing that's really important about this, as long as Stevenson can run the ball, that last quarter went really fast because Stevenson ran the ball and the clock is always running. And so they can actually cook clock as they score, which makes their touchdowns really important.
So that's Wheaton again. He's on the roll, looking for a receiver downfield. He's got one, incomplete. Intended receiver Marcus Childers. You know, it's amazing to see numbers, Terry, turning the monitor on. I thought maybe in the second half I'd turn the monitor so we could see this a little better.
It does make it a little easier.
A little bit better. Rookie mistake.
These things happen. These things, but no one would ever thank you to be a rookie.
You're too kind. All right, well, we have 2nd and 10 for Bradford. 13 seconds left in the third quarter here. Let's see what they've got going here. So Wheaton's going to come out with an empty backfield. Oh, no, he doesn't. He's got Childers back there. 3 receivers on the bottom. That's 1 in motion, and that is the handoff to the man in motion. That was number 33, Ethan Childers. Nowhere to go on that play. Brought down by D'Angelo Washington, the sophomore. And that is going to be the last play of the third quarter. That's going to take us down here. Here in Lincolnshire, Terry, we got a good one.
We have a great one right now.
We got a real good one. You didn't know a whole lot about this Bradford team. And again, winless last season, coming in with a one win, 35-0 in week 1. That was their first shutout as well in several years. So we're going to go into the fourth quarter. 24-21, Stevenson leads Bradford. We'll be right back.
Every goal, every touchdown, a promise. And that promise deserves safeguarding. Introducing draft protection and loss of value insurance. Dream without limits. We've got the coverage. Opalentia. Plan your legacy. Call us now at 708-505-9719.
Well, look at that moon here in Lincolnshire. I'll tell you what, you know the reason we're here today, Terry?
Why are we here today?
I had to ask the question of how a team from Kenosha found their way across the state line to come play at Stevenson. And the reason is Tom McGovern, the offensive line coach at Stevenson, he used to be a coach at Bradford. And Bradford really liked the opportunity to come play at this game. Coach Gaz over there said that one of the things he really wanted to see, and they are they are in the biggest division for Wisconsin football, but he wanted to see a big school football atmosphere, and I think he's got one here. What do you think? I mean, two sides here full, a huge band.
A huge band, people lined up on the fence on the wall. This is a big school atmosphere. This is what you expect when you come to a school of size of Stevenson, and this gets your players ready to play in that big atmosphere. As you said, they didn't win last year, but they're on the way of having a pretty good season if you watch them tonight. And if they're going to have that big season, they're going to have crowds like this, and so it's great to get this opportunity.
Full press box. Shout out to the Stevenson High School student radio and TV.
I'm telling you, this is a great
They're
program. They got
killing
kids in here working television and working the radio.
They're
this is the
at
start of a
halftime.
career.
At halftime, they were working on their resumes for us. And I have no doubt these kids, if they have an interest, will have a future. They have a great program over here, a long-time program.
Fantastic. I'm telling you, this is a really nice environment. And trust me, that moon helped.
Well, and if you want a big-time program, I'll tell you another one. Here's a guy to know, and boy, wouldn't it be nice for Stevenson to have this guy right now. Aiden O'Connell set school records here, more than 2,700 yards passing, 26 touchdowns, and he was a 2023 fourth-round draft pick of the Las Vegas Raiders. I still can't, it's weird to say Las Vegas Raiders, but he is playing his way into the conversation of QB2 over there as a rookie after having a great career at Purdue. As we see Wheaton step back and looking for the near sideline here, and overthrown a little bit to Marcus Childers. But yeah, Aiden O'Connell, that's he had quite a career here.
Well, I'm telling you, here at Stevenson, just to the south portion of the stadium, there's a place where they have like a pergola, and they have a big brick wall, and they have their Hall of Fame there, which is outstanding, And so you get to come and read about the accomplishments of some of the great athletes. And so I'm sure Aiden O'Connell was over there.
Well, we're going to see another punt here, the second one for Bradford now. That is Mason Runyard back. And I think we're going to have a chance of a return here. We'll see if you can get it up high enough to negate that for Stevenson. So we see some personnel changes here for Bradford.
Zach Hirsch back deep for Stevenson as well.
Stevenson brings it a little bit. We've got a high enough kick, and it looks like we're going to try, and nothing doing there.
That was really good coverage by Mr. Pratt. He got down, he broke down, he was prepared to make a tackle, and he did the job. And so now the question is, can the Bradford defense stop the Stevenson's run again? If Stevenson can do what they've done earlier in the game, this drive could take 6-7 minutes. They could take a lot of time off the clock. If they can get a touchdown here, this could be a big drive.
That was Simmons on the punt catch. Drabchek was in motion, and we see, that is, Hirsch was the quarterback. That is a long pass to Armand Burris, who got passed into the back of the secondary there. That's about a gain of 50.
Well, this is what happens. We have a team that's consistently running extremely well. You have to put people in the box to stop that run.
You also have two quarterbacks, too, when you're Stevenson. So you got two quarterbacks, no film on either one of them at this point. So Bradford there's the disadvantage, right? Bradford's got a game under their belt, but here's the disadvantage for them is there's no film on these Stevenson quarterbacks. So you have two guys that have not played at the varsity level. Hirsch, I believe, might have been on the team last year, but so you don't know.
Yeah,
Are they
but maybe not playing quarterback.
Passing? What are their tendencies? So we see they're just going to put it right back on the ground.
Again, Mr. Constable, I think he ran the ball down to approximately the 1.
Stevenson is calling for some help. There's a Bradford player down.
Injured player on the field.
So we're trying to find out who the player is that's down.
Well, someone's got to zoom in then. Are you on 2? Okay.
You mentioned Bradford comes in with a 1-0 record. They beat Wilmot last week 35-0. That was their first shutout in 3 years. But winless last year. They did have a Division I running back. We'll give a shout out to Keanu Parks. He is playing at Wyoming this season. But Bradford, a very young team, started 8 freshmen on varsity last season. And you know what that means?
That means a lot of learning.
They're starting 8 sophomores this year.
That's right. But they do have they have seemed to have grown up. I mean, they've responded extremely well here tonight at Stevenson. Now, you know, you hate to see someone be injured, but hopefully he'll be able to recover from this evening.
Well, it looks like they got him turned over, so that's good news.
Javion Williams seems to be the injured player.
It's a 6'2" junior linebacker. Well, I see them moving their legs now, so this could be a decent. This could be a cramp. Hopefully, let's hope.
Well, it's been hot tonight, and Javion Williams has been on the field on defense the entire night. So,
Oh, nice hand for Javion Williams.
So Williams is up last quarter. Thorndike we're talking about the rushing game for Stevenson. He had 5 carries for 37 yards. That puts him at 289 yards unofficially. And that Costable kid, he cracked 200 already.
Kid with bad intentions on that running game.
243 yards with that big gain he had. 2 touchdowns. 16 carries. All right, so we're on the 1 yard line.
Full house backfield.
Stevenson,
Touchdown.
that was pretty easy. Right through, that is Costable with another score. That might be his shortest run of the day, though,
Yes.
Terry.
It looked like he could have kept running.
Sadly, at that point, you don't get extra yards to get through there. So 1 yard score for Costable. That is his 3rd score of the game. 10 minutes and 12 seconds left in the game, and we are going to see the point after. Caden on, kick is up.
And it's good.
And it's good. Stevenson now leads 31-21. It's a 2-score game now, Terry.
Well, you look at it in large part, although they're running the ball extremely well, in large part that touchdown was set up by a catch from Armand Burris. You know, they had ran the ball. The defense keeps coming up to try to stop that run, and then you go over the top to your best receiver, Armand Burris. Big strike, and all of a sudden you're right in front of the goal line where your running game takes over again. So it was a bit of strategy to be able to mix in the pass along with that second run game. But at this point, that has given Stevenson a 10-point lead and the opportunity, if they can get a stop here, to close this game out.
Here you see some discussion on the sideline.
I think that's Mr. Watkins.
Yep, hyping him up a little bit, making sure he keeps in the game.
And I think they're kind of talking about that long pass that was received and trying to keep him in the game. Yeah, a play, things might not have gone your way for a play, but when they don't go your way, you can't dwell on it. There's no play like the next play. The last play is over. You can only play what's in front of you.
McKay's a sophomore too, so still plenty of instruction going on down there.
That's a great opportunity to coach. You know, a lot of coaching is in front of a big group, and a lot of coaching is face-to-face, one-on-one, and that's what that was.
So on to kick off to the Red Devils against 10 minutes and 3 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Stevenson with a 10-point lead now. Stretched it with that last Costable score, his 3rd of the game. And we are a touchback again, so Bradford's going to bring it out to the 20. And they're going to try to chip back away. Again, they're chasing. It's a 2-score game now, Terry. Still plenty of time to go, though.
Still plenty of time, and obviously Stevenson has made some big-time adjustments to try to take away. I'm sorry, I forgot the young man's name. Mr. Shiplet. I have to apologize. That man had 175 yards in the first half.
Yeah, he did okay. He's had a nice game.
So basically, Stevenson has done a great job at kind of taking him away. And so, can Bradford reestablish him?
Wheaton has a couple other big targets. Tony Jones-Fisher, again, is 6'3". Lorenz Pratt, he's a 6-foot freshman. Jones-Fisher is a sophomore, so young, but still plenty of size to go out there and go get it.
They have very good receivers. You know, they have very good receivers. And they've been difficult to handle to this point. But they need to score now.
Bradford coach Gosman Ismani said he really wanted to highlight how much work Devin Wheaton put in the offseason. He's always had a strong arm, but he had a lot of work as he gets brought down that time, though. Really no chance to show anything off. That was brought down by the sophomore Anthony Adams.
Well, the bottom line is, if you can't stop the receiving end of the passing game, you put pressure on the quarterback. And the pressure's been ramped up here in the second half, especially the end of the 3rd quarter, beginning of the 4th quarter.
A couple young guys on that offensive line, too. There's 2 sophomores starting, 2 seniors, of course, Ethan McLean being one of them. He is the anchor of that, and we have stepped back, and now that's into a little bit of coverage there. That pass is incomplete. Jones Fisher, we said there's another guy to go after. He was the intended receiver.
Pass incomplete.
That looked like an intended back shoulder throw, but if it was, I don't think the receiver was ready for it, or it could have just been underthrown. But I think they need to go back to the air. They don't need to go deep. They haven't necessarily scored just because they throw the ball deep. They throw it in the right area and let the receiver do the work. And I think they need to throw it in the right area and let the receiver do the work again.
Well, that's going to bring up a 3rd down and a long 20 for Bradford right now. So Wheaton drops back to pass.
Got time.
Puts one right over the middle. Tipped. That went off of Childers' shoulder pads, it looked like. Fortunate, Terry, that ball was not picked off.
They were very fortunate. It seemed like they had 2 receivers in the same area. And when you do that, you bring a lot of defensive backs to that area. They were lucky that didn't get picked off. But now the pressure's back on their defense. And their defense has played a lot of football in the second half.
So no chances here. We see Simmons and Hirsch, the other quarterback, both back. We've seen Hirsch back a couple times, which is interesting. You don't see that quarterback taking a lot of special team reps. But no chance for Bradford. They put it in the air. Nice high kick. That's a fair catch called by Simmons. But a short field for Stevenson right now.
Fantastic field position. And this is when, as I mentioned earlier, when the Red Devils were stopped 2 times in a row. That could win the game, the way these 2 teams were scoring. So now Stevenson has the ball with a short field, and they have a running game that's been very potent.
Going back to the basketball side, want to congratulate Will Benson, the new head coach for basketball here at Stevenson. It's been a long time that we've called anybody's name other than Pat Ambrose. 24 years as a head coach here, 500 wins, Terry.
Wow.
4 state trophies, including a state championship. Retired from coaching this past season. He had a heck of a job. As we see another big run by Stevenson.
That is
Thorndike gets down inside the 20. Brooks with the tackle. Again, there you go, that D-back making the saving tackle.
It really looks like fatigue is having an effect on Kenosha at this point. To be quite honest, playing run defense, fighting with the lineman in front of you, fighting with that other blocker, that's taxing on a regular basis.
And Stevenson's had some sustained drives for sure, and we have flags on the play. Hirsch took the snap, but let's see what the call is. Penalty is on Stevenson. It is going to stay first down.
Against Bradford.
If you think about it, there has not been a lot of penalties in that, which is actually very good for a game this early in the season.
Unusual.
These are actually 2 very well-coached teams. They got a lot of young men out here getting experience because they're 2 very young teams. But it's been a very competitive game to this point.
Well, Stevenson's coaching staff told their kids just to control what they can control. They can't control their experience. As we see another handoff to the outside. Thorndike again on the near sideline gets upended for a short gain. Yeah, they say that you can't control your experience. You can't control your size. You can't control the opponent. You can't control your age. But what you can go out there and do is play with high energy, play physical, control the things you can control.
Right. You can control the amount of energy you bring to the game.
So no gain on that play, 2nd and 15. 5-yard gain, 2nd and 15 for Stevenson. That's Costable in motion and a little flip to him.
Nice little cut.
And he is brought down.
They've shown
There's Owen Elder
Brought down by Ross.
and Ross.
the Patriots have shown to have two very effective running backs in Thorndike and Constable.
It'll be third down for the Patriots.
That bodes very well for the season.
Alex Drabchek is also a very good running back for them. We haven't really called his number much today, but he's a junior running back for them that does a nice job as well. So it's nice. They've got a lot of guys, but, you know, all credit. Where's that all happen? It all starts in
That's
the
an offensive
trenches.
line. That offensive line.
So clock continues to run until the officials
Timeout.
blow the whistle, and we have a timeout for Stevenson.
And this is where a running game really wears another team down. If they can walk this, I don't want to say walk it, but if they can get this ball into the end zone, they're going to run a lot of clock. And before you know it, it's not enough time to catch up and win.
Well, this may be the first game for the CAC network, but I will tell you, we have quite an experienced crew out here. Casey Sellers, our producer, Don Johnson, our assistant producer, Greg Rizal is our director today, Vic Walters, the technical director, Dan Lee. The incomparable Dan Lee is wearing pants and not a kilt today, which is unusual. He's on audio, especially in the heat. Dan, I would have expected you to wear the kilt. Dan Huser's on graphics. Our camera guys, who are some of the best in the business, Roberto Cepeda, Bill Law, Cornell Ford. I'm Eric Schmidt. He's Terry Harrell. Austin Schmidt is on stats in the booth today. And a big shout out to Rich Forsman as well, who has been a big integral part of this crew and everything today, as we see another flag. And that is going to be offsides on Bradford.
Yeah.
So Stevenson's going to get those 5 yards back now that they lost.
And I will say I feel really honored to have the opportunity to provide as the color commentator tonight. This is my maiden voyage.
You weren't supposed to tell anyone that, Terry.
I'm sorry about that.
Because you fooled everybody. Now nobody's going to believe that. Nobody's going to believe anything you have to say now. And that looked pretty easy right there. And that is another score. And
offensive line.
Guess who? Constable. How
Constable.
about 4 touchdowns today for Frank?
Big day.
Well, Stevenson made some adjustments at half. They took that lead early in the third quarter, and they've just continued to push it forward. It's now 37-21, and time now is not on Bradford's side.
Well, they've held Bradford scoreless the entire second half at this point.
Kanan tries to put the extra point on, and he is good.
Really?
A little line drive there. A little line drive, but hey, it gets the job done. 38, Stevenson Patriots, 21, Kenosha Red Devils. So, clock is not your friend now if you're on the Red Devil sideline.
No, it's not. But they played a fantastic game. They've been very spirited tonight. They've been very effective. One thing I think did get to them today, I think the heat and what seems to be a little bit shorter bench than what the Patriots have got to Kenosha tonight. I don't want to say the game is over, but they have been stopped the last 3 times they've had the ball.
When you're an Illinois 8A team, you definitely have numbers to pick from for sure. But Bradford definitely, head coach Gosman Asmani, really trying to build a program over here. He's been in the program for 10 seasons, but only his third as the head coach. So really trying to put his stamp on things here. He is an alum of the school. He has coached 2 sons through this program. He calls this his dream job. I think it's pretty cool to be a parent and get to coach your kid in high school football.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. And he's doing a great job at it. If you look at the turnaround he had from last year when he was really young to what his team looks like they could be this year, he's doing a fantastic job.
Well, it's how you build a program, especially when you've got all those new faces. You take your lumps. As long as your administration understands, has your back, which I'm sure they did. As we see that kick, and they're going to bring it down.
Let him bring it out. Got to the 20, I think.
So that looked like Ethan Childers, if I'm not mistaken, brought that ball out. Let's take a look.
Brought down by Mateo Nolasco.
So now let's go with the tackle.
You know, you really have
Take that.
On their own 20.
All right, so you got 5.5 minutes left. You are down 17 points now. Now you need to get some quick strikes. So now the good thing is we've seen them have success in the air, be able to get yards in a hurry.
stop.
And we're trying to figure out what's going on now. Now we're good.
Whatever it was, it's been
Now we're
solid.
good.
I really think that Bradford needs to look at some crossing routes. That seemed to be very effective in the first half. In the second half, they tried to go deep. Crossing routes were very effective for them.
They did find the soft spots of the zone a few times as Wheaton steps back, completes the pass, and a little extra yards. Does he get out of bounds? I think so. That was Colin Freitag with a nice little catch and run. Stops the clock. First down for the Red Devils.
And although we're looking at 5 minutes, this is the time where when you're down by more than one score, it's like a modified two-minute offense.
And
you're looking to get out of bounds. You're looking to save time.
Yeah, and I stand corrected. He actually did not get out of bounds over on that far sideline. So the clock does continue to move. So Wheaton to take the snap. Steps back, and that's a quick hitter.
Out of bounds.
Well, to Tony Jones-Fisher, and he was unable to get to the sideline. So the clock's going to continue to run now. We've got second down. It's about a 5-yard gain.
At this point, you can see that the Patriots are very well coached in that the defensive back came up and he protected the sideline. He forced them back inside.
Well, and you're seeing the quick sideline route there. You didn't see anything. You were talking about running some crossing routes in the soft part of that zone, and they haven't been able to get there. Not a lot of time to pass, but that was enough time to pass, and that is a heck of a completion. Wheaton completes that to Lorenz Pratt. That's a 6-foot freshman. Speaking of youth, that's the one freshman starter they have. So, first down. That's exactly what you needed if you're the Red Devils.
Yeah.
So we're under the 4-minute mark now. And Wheaton in trouble, gets rid of it, and it is, very nearly intercepted. Very nearly, very dangerous over there. William Kirksick got a hand on it there, almost was able to come up with it over on the near sideline.
You know, that modified rollout by Devin Wheaton, it's a great play because it gets him away from the pressure, but on the other hand, what it does is it shortens the width of the field. And so the entire defense comes with you because they know you can't throw the ball back over your shoulder. And so when you have a pass like that pops up in the air, the odds of it being intercepted is a lot higher because there's more people, more defenders in the air.
So the one positive, the clock did stop now, so Wheaton's in the backfield. He's got Ethan Childers with him. 4 receivers, 2 top, 2 bottom, and Etzel steps up. Dangerous pass through there. That ball nearly intercepted. Jones-Fisher, the intended receiver, and it just got through. So now we're going to see a 3rd down and 10 from the 30.
Now watching what happened, you can see what he saw. He saw the receiver come over in the middle. He tried to make a play. There's a lot of people. And at that point, you might just take the yards and see if you can get to the side.
Well, he was stepping up through. I thought that was going to, it looked like a designed run. That whole front line opened up for him. He had some yards to go, but again, I mean, he wound up throwing it right ahead of him anyway. But we're still going to have to probably take a timeout to stop the clock there as we get a whistle here. And that is a Stevenson timeout. So, Brian Berger, defensive coordinator over there, didn't like something he saw there, so they went ahead and took a timeout. They're going to talk it over.
Mr. Shipley. And so maybe he saw an opportunity for the wrong receiver to get over. And he'd rather stop the clock than have that happen.
Yeah, we haven't called Shiplett's name a whole lot this second half. It's most of the attempts have been going to Jones, Fisher, or Pratt. So next week for these both teams, they're back at it. I mean, it's week 2, right? So they better be. There's no byes in high school football. So next week for Stevenson, they get Taft, Chicago Public League School. And then it gets a little tougher from there as far as playing in conference. Week 3, they get to face defending state champ Lake Zurich.
And next week for Bradford, they get Oak Creek, which is a suburb of Milwaukee. And it's not as large as a Stevenson, but for Wisconsin, it's on that level. It's the kind of school that always has good athletic teams. They always have a lot of people on the team, and so it'll be a bit of a challenge for them. But looking at what they did tonight, they should be ready to handle that challenge.
So a little time and that ball's underthrown. Oh, nearly intercepted by Barry Hall. Lorenz Pratt was back there, and it looked like if we put a little more mustard on that, it might have gotten over, especially when you've got a big receiver like that. But nice job by Hall on the defense. That's going to bring up a 4th down. And Terry, this is absolutely must do here.
This is, this is the game. If they don't score here, it's pretty much over. I hate to say that because the effort has been great, and the competition has been great. Both teams answered the bell tonight. But it looks like the Patriots might have answered the bell a little bit better this evening.
Oh, Wheaton surveys the defense here. Takes a look. They take a look back to the sideline, see if there's any changes.
Okay, they're backing out.
And going to go short, and that is not going to do it. Well, the pass was completed. Has Colin Freitag, but nowhere near enough yards on that one. Like just a little behind him, and he wasn't able to do anything, get upfield or make a turn with it. It's probably one of those plays you want to throw to that back shoulder, get a spin move, and try to get down the sideline, right?
Now, this opportunity, at this point, what you expect from Stevenson is they've had 2 extremely effective running backs tonight and won them the ball each time and run the clock and go home. Next week they have another chance for improvement and try to get another win. And the same with Bradford.
Well, Crawley was in the backfield. That was a handoff.
Whoa.
Nice spin move by Thorndike to get a few extra yards. He's down to midfield. We have a Bradford player on the ground. We have some shoving.
Bradford player.
Yeah, Bradford player in the backfield. That looks like number 45 or 46. 45, Wyatt Rush is back there. 6'4", sophomore D lineman.
Injured player on the field.
And then let's figure out what we've got with the flag going on over here. So that's a personal foul on Stevenson.
Come on, people.
So that's going to take the ball back a few yards now.
We played a really good game, a really competitive game. Everybody maintain your cool. Show that class that both schools are known for. And let's shake hands and go home when it's over.
You talked about Stevenson's defensive intensity in the second half. That was really their calling card last season. They had a 7-3 record at the end of the season. They're 5-2 in the North Suburban. But they gave up the least amount of points in conference last season. And that included 7 single-digit games.
I mean, as a team, that's a great defensive performance. That's the kind of defense that carries a team, So this year, they're really young, and they're learning, They started out the first half. They had some things they had to adjust to. Bradford had a dominant receiver, Noah Shiplett, and he took advantage of them in the first half. In the second half, they made adjustments, and they responded to that. They were able to shut him down, which shows a lot And that bodes very well for the rest of the season.
We just saw Roush helped off the field, and that ball is handed off to Christopher Thorndike. He gets a little bit of a gain. Not quite a first down. It's going to be second and about 2.
It'll be second down.
And, if you're Stevenson, this is the kind of game you want. You wanted a team that was going to challenge you, that was going to expose some weaknesses that you had. And you make an adjustment, and you pick up your running game, and then you're able to leave with a victory. So for Stevenson, this is a perfect night in which to open the season.
As we saw, hard count, a little bit of movement on the line there.
Ball start.
Oh,
Against Stevenson.
well, they got Stevenson on that one. So it's going to stay second down.
Clock's still running.
About a long 7.
Still second down.
Clock is creeping in on 2 minutes.
From the Stevenson 38.
We have another officials timeout.
It's exactly 2 minutes.
They're asking Thorndike to leave the field.
That's usually an equipment thing.
Yeah.
It's something, mouthpiece, you lose your mouthpiece, or you lose your kick pad or something like that.
Well, he was replaced by Frank Costable, so
It wasn't a step down from that.
I think
They both played extremely
they're
well
okay.
tonight.
They're okay. They both earned rests tonight, though. So high snap, but inside hand to Costable. And he fights. He is awfully close to the first down. Let's see where they spot it. And it is a first down for Stevenson, and that may very well do it. As the clock continues to run with a minute and a half left, Stevenson 38, Bradford 21.
So this is an extremely hard-fought game tonight. Both teams showed up. Both teams showed their wares. Both teams played extremely well, especially in the first half. And just over the course of the second half,
That will indeed do it. That is victory formation for the Patriots. So now it's just a formality to run this last minute and 11 off.
And so there's good things for both teams, okay? It was a big school atmosphere, as Coach said, from Bradford earlier before the game. They showed up in that atmosphere. They played very well. For a moment there, it looked like they were going to take the crowd out of it. They played hard the entire night. And on the other side, Stevenson was able to make adjustments and slow down the other team. And they were able to find that this year maybe they're going to be a running team. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've always been a pretty balanced program, but yeah, they've had a lot of very good quarterbacks come through here. But obviously, we saw a couple of good runners today.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. Bradford has nothing to hang their heads about.
No.
They were leading a good portion of this game. Yeah, like you said, I think it becomes a numbers game at some point. Your depth shows.
It does. It does. Your depth shows. And it's not like, it's not like you replace an entire 11 with an entire 11. It's 2-3 kids in the line, 2-3 kids in the middle of your defense, maybe a defensive back or two, and that's enough to give your players a rest so that they're fresh in the fourth quarter.
So if you're the Bradford coaching staff, you got a young team, what do you tell them for next week?
Well, basically, I would say, okay, first of all, we played the top level team. We played the top level team in Illinois. We played them toe to toe, and we were leading at halftime. We got a little fatigued, and we made some mistakes. We can correct those and get a victory next week. And we can get a good victory in our conference against Oak Creek, which is a team that we've been chasing. And so
We got to put this in the back burner and be ready to go.
Well, Stevenson, a very good second half today. They are on their way. They are 1-0 now on their season, trying to improve their prospects. So Stevenson with the win today, 38, Kenosha, Bradford 21 on the CAC network. We will be right back when we talk to a player of the game. I think we know who that's going to be. Stay here.
Every goal, every touchdown, a promise, and that promise deserves safeguarding. Introducing draft protection and loss of value insurance. Dream without limits. We've got the coverage. Opalentia. Plan your legacy. Call us now at 708-505-9719.
We saw a great second half of football from the Stevenson Patriots, and a lot of that had to do with the ground game today. Frank Hostable, sophomore, welcome to varsity. We got you unofficially for 268 yards and 4 scores. Could you have ever imagined this for your first varsity game?
I did not imagine this. I didn't think I was going to be, being able to carry that much and run that much and honestly score that many times. That was a very nice experience. Friday Night Lights. I remember just going to these games when I was a freshman. Best thing ever.
What's it like to finally, you've been hitting your buddies all summer, you finally get to get an actual game under your belt?
Man, I think we were always like, you don't want to hurt anybody, and then you come out here and be able to unleash. It's one of the best feelings ever. It's no holding back. You were trying to dominate as much as possible, and it feels real good.
How much was running in the game plan coming in today?
Running was a very big part of our game plan. We knew that I knew that I was going to be carrying the ball a lot, and that our backfield was going to be taking like a heavy hit to the offense today. Set up our pass plays, which obviously did give us a big yardage late in the third.
You hit a couple of home runs today. You broke a couple tackles and you got through. What was helping with so much success on the ground today?
I would definitely say my linemen. Without them, I can't do anything, right? And then just the reps. Repetition is one of the biggest things that we do, and make sure we go over it. We know the play, and we run the play. You got to trust my teammates. I got to trust they make that block, and they got to trust that I'm right behind them. So I say trust in my linemen. How
hard is that to do with so many new faces and so much varsity inexperience? And football is not unusual for any of you guys, but at this level, you've got all returning or no returning starters other than one.
Yeah, it is a lot of new faces, but we do go to the same school, a lot of multi-sport athletes, so we know each other a little bit. But I say, the amount of times that the team's just gone out, been together, build that team chemistry was probably one of our best things that we did. Just always bonding. It's good.
Frank, you guys had a lot of chemistry today. Great job. You need to go towel off. It has been a hot day today. Congratulations on the win. You guys got Taft next week, and then you get into conference. So go get some rest and get some ice. Keep it right here. We'll be right back to close things up.
Every goal, every touchdown, a promise, and that promise deserves safeguarding. Introducing draft protection and loss of value insurance. Dream without limits. We've got the coverage. Opalentia. Plan your legacy. Call us now at 708-505-9719.
We're here to close things up. Terry, I'll tell you what, 268 yards for a sophomore running back in his first varsity game. It's been a long time since I've seen an effort like that, and 4 scores too. What did you think about the effort?
I thought it was a phenomenal effort. He finished every run. That's the difference. He didn't just run and fall over when you hit him. He hit you, and that's what made it an outstanding night.
And that was Frank Costable, and he mentioned that, how much he was just anxious to get out and hit guys finally, not his own teammates. So that's a pretty good attitude to have, for sure.
It was an outstanding attitude to have, just raring to go. He'll be raring to go again next week. This could be a big year for him.
All right, a lot of young guys. Last question. How do they keep the momentum? You played this game before. You've been in a locker room with young guys and moving through things. How do they keep their focus when this is all new to them?
Well, one thing that happened tonight, they were able to get a lot of people involved. They were able to get 2 running backs that have great nights. They were able to pass the ball to Amon Burris, who had a great night as well. And so you get a lot of people involved. They stay with it. They're really excited, and they'll be excited next week and the week after that.
Well, I was excited to work today. I don't know about you. We have one of the best crews in the business. So thank you for sticking around watching this game with us. For Terry Harrell, I'm Eric Schmidt from Lincolnshire. Thanks for watching. So long.